Let's see. Oh, nice hair, Dan. You should have checked that before you went live, but oh well. Okay. Hi, guys. Let me see. Chat. What's going on? Hi, whoever's watching me. What is it going on with his hair? Like illegal activities. Stop. Hey, Marita, how are you? Hey, Sharon Wisdom, how are you? Hey, Vicky, how are you? Vicky, I have to tell you, I didn't get the chance to do your reading today. It was a bit of a whirlwind day, and I was kind of running around a little bit crazy. I will do it tomorrow, I promise. You will get it soon. I have been there was a lot going on today, and I forgot it was Sunday, and Andrew had to remind me like an hour or two ago. He's like, are you going to do a charming tonight? And I was like, oh, is it Sunday? So I'm here. I just needed a minute to pause. I was on the phone with a friend of mine in Austin, and she's trying to find a place. And so I was helping her, and we were online and doing some of my favorite things, like looking at real estate, because real estate is my new porn as I get older. It's the weirdest thing. So I love to like look at stuff. So I was helping her look up different towns and populations of towns, and I got sidetracked with her. So you're welcome, Vicky, and thank you for like booking the reading. But I just didn't want you to think I'd forgotten about you, because I told you I'd send it to you today, and I just let the day get away. I did get some cool things though. I went to a psychic fair that I want to potentially read at here in Austin, or not in Austin, here in San Antonio, and I wanted to go and kind of network with the lady that runs it, but she was kind of engaged the whole time I was there, because I had to get back here for a class at 3 online that I had. So, but I went, and I got a few little kind of goodies. I'll just show you. I'm super excited about this. It's the Clint Tarot. So Gustav Klimt. So I'll be unboxing that at some point. I'm really excited to see. This should be epic, I have a feeling. I'm kind of super excited about this. So I need to stop shopping, but whatever. So there's that coming. There will be videos of that. And then I got a couple of different pendulums and different stones. I got some more cards. That's me with a bag. I swear to God, a burglar could come in here with a ski mask on and a gun, and they would be snoring. But I go into a shopping bag, and all of a sudden it's high alert in this house. I don't understand it. Hi, yeah. There's no food. I don't have any food. They're like barking like, oh, we'll protect you, Daddy, from that submarine sandwich. Anyways, so that's all later. Later, alligator. How are you guys? I feel like I missed. Oh, that's the other thing I should say too. I apologize for last Sunday. I spaced last Sunday too. A bad psychic. So I kind of lost track of last Sunday too, and I didn't sign on because it was the end of the month. It was New Year's. It was crazy, so I forgot. Let's see what you guys are saying. Is it too late to have a charm reading? Rachel, it's never too late to have a charm reading. That's why I'm here. It's, you know that song, it's too late, baby, it's too late. It's never too late, baby, it's never too late. If you want a charm reading, you can certainly send me the money for it, and I will do it for you, Rachel. Hey, Jackie Gonzalez, how are you? They think it's goodies. I know they do, Vicky. They're just awful. If somebody was coming in to break in, they would want to play ball with him. But if I actually go into a shopping bag, they're like, ooh, what'd you get us, Daddy? So thank you, Jen, for tagging all your friends. I love that you're doing that. I love it. Hey, Tracy Swinson, good morning. Oh, Miss Tracy, you are all the way in Australia, in Perth, right? Do you want to get your charming tonight? Hey, Karen Stringer, how are you, dear? Yay, Sunday night, says Andrew. Everybody can thank Andrew for reminding me that it was Sunday, because I have no clue what day it is this week. And I had a class today at 3. a mediumship class, and then I had to race up to Live Oak to do this psychic fair, and and then I ended up buying things that I shouldn't have probably bought. Well, whatever. It's all sort of a business expense is how I see it. Marita wants yours. Okay, perfect. Tracy, perfect. Let me write everybody down. And then Rachel, do you need the link, Rachel? Hey, Amanda Heach, how are you? Let me get to the list. We're in January already. I cannot believe it. So, how best to do this? Let's see here. Jen Nichols. I just write everybody's names down that's subscribers. And thank you guys for your subscriptions. Laura. Lisa. Tammy. Tracy. You know, Tracy, too, I want to say to you, because you're always in Australia and timing is really a tough one for you. And you've been such a good subscriber for months and months. And I know you don't always cash in your charmings. Like I can see here that you missed November's last November. And I also I don't think I got your September one. I got you on October and December. So if you wanted, I could send you like a card reading via video. If you want a subject, like if you want to send me an email, because Vicky, who's here in the room, she started doing that with me. She got me doing that, and I kind of love it. It's a great format. What happens is she will send me an email just saying, hey, I'm ready for a reading. And then I send her the reading via video, and I just do it all on my camera. I pre-tape it, and I mail it to her without her talking to me, which is sort of weird because I'm used to doing it over the phone live with people, and obviously you're in Australia. And so timing would be an issue. Or I could maybe videotape a charming for you, just because I know that, you know, it's really early your time. So if you wanted to do that, just message me either at the business page. So if you want me to do like a tarot spread, it's kind of cool the way I just film it flat on the desk, not like how you see the daily on the forecast. I'll lay out the cards flat face up on the desk with the camera that I use for charming. And then I send the whole video. And then that way, the reason why Vicky likes it and what's great about it is Vicky can rewatch the videos is what she tells me. And so she says she picks up more information each time that she rewatches it. So that's available. And I know that sometimes it's difficult. And any of you guys that are charmers, like on my Patreon list, if 1 month you want to do that instead of your charming, just ask. I'm totally fine with that. Like if you want to cash in that way, just email me at the business page and say, hey, Dan, this month, you know, can we do reading on, you know, my business? And then I can just email it to you. Because for me, I'll just lay out the cards, film it, and then send it to you. If you want something different, just to add variety. Those of you also, I will say this too while I'm doing this. For those of you that are on this list, you know who you are. Please let me know what you guys think about the new formats for the Archangel and the Cupid's Love reading. If you like them, because I'm kind of doing this whole clarifying cards thing, and it gets a little long-winded, and it's not the same format that you guys are used to, but I thought switching it up for 2021 with new cards, new spreads, that sort of thing would be fun. So I felt inspired to do that, but I want to make sure that you guys are still enjoying them, because I don't know that all of you watch them, but those of you that do, if you do watch them, just let me know. All right, so we're going to do January, February, March, and April. So January, we're going to get Tracy in, Marita in. Jackie Gonzalez, charmings are $25. If you need the link, I can send the link into the chat. I can do additional charmings. Yes, Rose. For cash money? Oh my God, girl, I'll take off my top for cash money. Yes, I can do that for you. But you know what, Rose? Marita didn't cash in on December. So I could just do one for you because you guys subscribe. You know, you subscribe to me at the charming level and at the archangel level. So, I mean, I don't mind throwing in an extra charming. Awesome. Okay, so I got Tracy, Marita, Rachel. Jackie needs the link. Okay. Guys, I'm so not prepared for this. Sorry, one moment. I probably should have shaved even. Shaved. And I'm not talking about my face. Just kidding. Oh, she's so dirty. All right, let me find this link here. Link it up. Okay. No, I have way too many emails. There's just all these people I'm trying to avoid, and none of them are getting the picture here. Okay, let me see here. I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to avoid anybody. Yes, I am. Okay, here we go. Here's that link. I have to email myself the link to my own page. That's how weird I am. All right, Control C. And then Control V. We're independent players. Exactly. Got to keep that. Oh, did that not work? Do I have to go back in there? Control V. I try and control my V, and I just can't, especially around a cute man. Excuse me. All right. So we've got that. It's been such a weird day. I need a little caffeine and some bubbles in my mouth to get going here. All right. I hope you guys had a good New Year's. How was everybody's New Year's? Thank you, Marita. I love you too. I love you both. Oh, my friend is now my friend. Oh, oh God, the girls went nuclear. Let me just text her really quick. It's okay. I'm live online doing charmings. I can't believe I'm like reading this while I'm live. Thank you, Rose Carlisle. Rose Carlisle. That's Rose. Okay. I shouldn't call out your name like that. I'm sorry. Sorry. Thank you, Rose Smith at 1342 Whitebriar Road. Like, no, let's not do that. Let's not give away her social security number live, Dan. Hey, Priscilla, how are you? It worked, LOL, and I posted it about. Thank you, Priscilla. Hi, Thomas Martin. It was good. I don't know what was good. What was good, Thomas? Thomas, do I know you? It's so rare that I get a man up in here. LOL, it's my old name anyway. Okay, cool. Fair. She's wanted in 3 states, people. So, all right, what am I doing? I don't even know. I am going to switch cameras. I'm a mess tonight. It was the best. Kids and grandkids came over. We barbecued and played charades. How was yours? Mine was good. It was kind of quiet. I went out to dinner with a new group of friends, which is great. It's nice to have friends. We all wore masks into the restaurant. The tables were spaced nicely. And then I went to a little thing afterwards, but it was very small. And then, and it was outdoors and it was cold. And so I came home and I was probably like in bed right after 12:30. There was a lot of fireworks in the neighborhood, which that's a very Texas thing. But it was kind of fun. Like just, the neighborhood kind of went crazy till about 12:31 a.m. So, but I was kind of home by, I want to say like 9:30ish. I was home by. I wasn't out very long. It was too cold. Now I've gone too far. Don't tell people I'm wanted. Girl, all that badassery, you are wanted. All right. So let me get started here. Who wants to go first? Messing with my life of crime. New Year's. Oh, your New Year's was good, Thomas? Cool. Thank you. And by the way, Thomas is watching over on YouTube. So if you guys are going like, who's Thomas? I'm talking to him over on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in, Thomas. So who wants, I've got Rose's payment. And I got Rachel. So whoever wants to go first, is there a preference? Does somebody want to raise their hand? Confident and sure, raise your hand if you're sure. Let me know who wants. Okay, Rachel. Thank you, Rachel. Get in there, girl. Just make it happen. All right, so we're going to do Rachel. What subject do you want, Rachel? Tell me. Help pay for my Gustav Klimt cards, girl. I got my Gustav Klimt bag. I love it. Oh, Karen's bought a charming too. Okay, great. So, Rachel, do you have a topic that you want the charming on? Rachel, for those of you that can't see Rachel, she's on YouTube too. You want to see them, Rose? I'll show them to you. They're kind of gorgeous. I'm really excited about them. I think that they're going to make for decadent readings. I'm really, really excited about them. I mean, I'm not this deck, this last deck that I unboxed, this Influence of the Angels, I'm obsessed with. And now this deck, I'm kind of like, I've got a little bit of a Woody for. I've got to read up on Klimt. I think that's how you say his name. I don't know. But I just love, it's sort of like that sweeping romance of like all the gold and the Russia and all of that. Like, oh, I love it. All right. I know I have a serious card habit too. It's bad. I'm a card head. Okay. I need love and money. Yes, love and money. Okay, let's just start simple. All right, let me switch cameras really quick and we'll get started there. So we're going to do love and money and see what happens here for, I need to go to the Logitech. Let's see if it switches. Okay, it switched. Don't judge my dirty desk, okay? Can you guys hear me okay? Sometimes the camera goes out when, God, my desk really is dirty. Oh my God. Sorry, this is the inner workings. This is the behind the scenes. This is when you get to go backstage and see the showgirl's titties, kind of, I guess. All right, well, that's not much of an improvement, but whatever, we'll roll with it. All right, so money and love for Rachel McIntyre. Money and love. You want to know about money and love. What does Rachel need to know? Okay, that's a little bit of a hot mess of a spread there. Let's look and see what's going on here. What do we have? Okay. First thing I notice is you've got green Tara right here, which I feel like this is you. This is representational of you. I like this. I like that she's sort of even keel right now. She's not straight up and down. She's kind of tilting, but she's in the present moment. She's kind of centered in the board, and she's next to this breathe stone, which to me feels like, you know, a reminder maybe in certain areas of our life. We might need to breathe. Money and love can certainly be those areas where they get us a little bit kind of flustered. I'm trying to bring this in closer for you guys. Oh, there's my cat. Hi, kitten. And there's my dog. Everybody, the whole family's here. All right. So I'm going to maybe take this Scorpio in a moment, but let's just see what's going on here. So we've got D. It could be D for dollars, but we're asking about love too. So it could be the good D, if you all know what I mean. The number is 2 on the letter D. 2s indicate pairings or couplings. So I like that. That seems benefic to the idea of love. Now, back to green Tara. I feel like she's a lady that's large and in charge. She knows her spiritual worth. I know that much about you already, but I feel like that's what's going on here in this charm right here. This is representational of you. I feel like even if your world is feeling a little bit unsteady or rocked right now, she's not letting it get to her. She's trying to maintain a balance there. It's sort of that tilt that she has. I also feel like this key to me feels like it's pointing to the future. Like there might be something coming for us in the future, right? It feels like the direction, like the energy feels like it's moving off the key, going like over here, over here, over here. So what we're doing now is setting up maybe for the future is kind of what I feel like the key is saying to me. The breathe charm to me is just that reminder, breathe and keep steady, ground, that sort of energy. There's a lot going on here in the past, right? We've got the no chance on top of the rubber cobra. The rubber snake to me is kind of like, you know, those problems that they're not really a threat. They're more annoying than anything, but they can be a real pain in the ass. And no chance over here, this could be an ex of some sort, somebody that maybe gave you trouble. There could be an ex even further in the past, somebody that maybe actually could do some good harm, possibly a Scorpio, or somebody that, like, you know, has a little bit of a bite to them. But I feel like this, because this is up here on this part of the board, it's sort of standing out to me in the sense that it's here, like, meaning it's maybe way in the past. If I don't know if there's somebody in your life that represents in that way, or it represents like the pain of the past to you. I don't know. I feel like it's funny that this Scorpio is here. I feel like the charm is trying to show me that, yes, there's something that's from the way back, but it might still need to be addressed, or like, I don't know if there's like maybe a pattern, a similarity between this, which would have been more current or more present, that didn't quite work out, where we have this no chance here, that these two are either reminiscent of. This might have been lesser than this thing from the past, but this thing from the past is kind of maybe what still indicates us attracting things like this in the more recent past. Does that make sense to you, Rachel? I don't know if that does. We have the sunflower here. We have the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius to me is all about expansion, good luck, fiery dynamism. It can also be about like passion and that flirting, fun energy that comes along with relationships and love. It can be sort of benefic as far as making things happen money-wise, but I feel like there's a bit of a cluster here where everything feels kind of tight and all around this sort of energy. So the sunflower, when I originally put it in this box that's underneath this dice, to me, it was about sort of to represent Leo energy and the sun, because I didn't find a good sun charm that I liked. And so to me, this coupled with Sagittarius, we've got that fiery energy or Leo, Sag kind of influence happening there. So that would indicate sort of trying to get things done, making things happen in the area of love and money. But I kind of feel like there's a little bit of a jumble here. Like, it might be a 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 step forward, 1 step back. And then we have the Page of Swords and we have the Knight of Swords up here. I feel like there was something from this little bit. I almost get a feeling like in the past, things were positive. Your mind was set on growth and remaining positive and doing what you needed to do to sort of expand. Expansion maybe in love, expansion maybe in money. I kind of get a feeling this is more around business, though. I don't know why that is. The mood ring is here too, which indicates that your mood was probably important. But when I'm seeing the Sag symbol and the sunflower, to me, that indicates like that you were probably in a really good mood, other than whatever this fuckery was. Excuse my language, but to me, this feels like a bit of the fuckery, and it's in your higher mind. So it's like everything else, although it feels like the jumbled feels like this was a lot of work. A lot of work was put in, a lot of, not effort so much like you had to work hard, but you had a lot of energy, a lot more oomph, and wanting to make it happen. And managing your mood was maybe important at that time. You have the Tree of Life, which would indicate growth and the learning of that growth around the Page of Swords. What is this? This is Serenity, and it's like flipped over and upside down. So that means when we have this rubber snake here, like while we were trying to do all this creation and maybe get ahead, maybe in our money area or our work area, our love life area was kind of a hot mess, is the sort of the vibe that I'm getting here. Or it was like, I'm working really hard down here trying to get these things done. I can't figure out why I can't fix this. Why I can't get any serenity or any peace here. And there was like no chance of that, is kind of the feeling that I get. Now, moving into the more present state, we have the Green Tar, which to me, she's empowered. She loves herself. She knows her worth, her strength, her beauty, that sort of thing. So I like where this is. I like that. I feel like this is a byproduct of all of the work and positivity that was set loose in this series of charms. And this breathe to me is taking on more of this space of like, be patient, like just breathe right now. And let yourself be carried into the future. You have the Jaguar. He is face down right now, which is fine. I feel like he's maybe a little bit on hold. To me, I feel like when we unleash this Jaguar, and the Jaguar sort of, for me, signifies like that deep shamanic knowledge, or that sort of, more maybe the aspect of like going out and taking what belongs to you kind of thing, maybe going out and hunting it down. And if that hunt is for money or if it's for love, I feel like this is working or brewing as we move forward. Right now, we're more in a state of grace, nurturing, love, ideally towards ourselves first and foremost, which I feel that with Green Tara, but also just kind of letting everything sort of mellow out and start to carry you forward. I feel like once we start to get further into the future, then we can unleash this Jaguar and go about creating the things that it is that we feel like we're lacking. Truthfully, though, I will say this: I don't feel like you're really truly lacking. I think you would like love and money, right? But I don't know that you need love and money, which was your statement, right? I mean, you might need money. I shouldn't say that, but I think that you can make it. That's the thing. And I also think that all of these charms, including like the expansion of Sag, the Sun, the Tree of Life, the Page of Swords, the Mood Ring, all of these things also speak to a more present time idea of focus yourself and your energy, breathe, and attach to like the sort of optimism, the learning of how to make that happen. You can do it is the feeling that I get. I also feel like moving into the future, we move from the page into the night, right? Where we become our own sort of steward in a way, or our own, not ward, because that's more like a page. But to me, it's like we take the mantle here, we move forward sort of bravely. I think that this is about any sort of insecurities or learning lessons. You will have processed them, and you'll be working from a higher state of, I don't know if intelligence is the right word, but to me, it's like this, it indicates that you've gotten smarter somehow in this journey. You've gotten smarter in the process of creating your money and all of that. I think that right now, to be honest, I don't see love right now. The most love that I see is this love here that I feel like she has for herself. And that's the most important thing on this whole board. And I think that that's what you need to sort of continue to focus on and grace yourself with, and breathe, and allow the key to open the doors for the future. You're going to get to a state where you're going to feel more empowered or in control, able to sort of take care of yourself. Certainly that would be a night quality too. And then at that point, you can, around that time, sort of call in the prowess of this Jaguar and begin to make that happen. I also want to say, and I'm not reading the comments because I'm busy looking at the charm board. I'm going to come back and read them really quick to see if Rachel's responded. But I feel like this Scorpio, I don't know if there's something really significant in your past that you might think is dormant, or that you kind of thought you had dealt with, or you had put it away. But I feel like I don't know, like I almost feel like it needs to be not addressed, but like revisited in a way or something. I mean, especially too, I think that this experience might still affect the love that comes into your life. Because I think that whatever this experience was from the way back past, it creates these rubber snake moments, or these men that kind of are these rubber snake moments that don't necessarily give you what you want, or what you need, or what you desire, or what you deserve, quite frankly, is the feeling that I get from this. Because I see a lot of power, and I see a lot of energy in here too. A lot of really positive effort and ideas and optimism being put into whatever it is you are working towards, whether it's love or money, right? This to me feels more about money this to me feels more about love. And I think that to bring those into more balance, which we see her not struggling, but starting to attain here, we need to address that scorpion from the past. Does that make sense? I'm going to read this. I saw that you said for charming. Thank you, Karen. I did see that. Have had anxiety for 3 days, been telling myself to breathe. Interesting. Okay, I am a Leo. So we have that there. And I feel like that's the positivity of that energy of Leo and the sun and moving forward in that. Yes, I opened a second location during COVID, then had to close the second business. My brother, who's a quadriplegic, is a Scorpio. He lives with me. His name is Devin. Ah, okay. I worked on the dark night of the soul this year. I worked on my intuition. Here's the thing. I feel like she feels extremely empowered to me. And the more that you sit in that, even if things feel up in the air right now, just like breathe. Breathe, 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 breathe. I feel like there's stuff coming for you that, like, the chaos of all of this feels like it's hopefully being left behind. This might be that he is just a huge priority. If this to you represents as your brother, and that's why it landed here, because it wanted to be like sort of set apart from the rest of this charming. And it's interesting to me because there's nothing in your past though, because you asked about love and money, and I feel like this is sort of love too, like that. Like the love that you've had in the recent past has not brought you any sort of serenity. It's maybe even taken your serenity from you. And I feel like you have actually more serenity here in these charms, and you need to sort of concentrate on that or focus on that and live from that place, like maintain that during this time. Is the name of it green? Yes, this is Green Tara. Yes. My parents tossed a coin on my name, Rachel or Tara. That's hilarious. This is Green Tara, this little statue here. So, and I feel like that's you for sure. Like this is you in the present moment when you're really in your power. Your twin flame just broke off with you. Are you sure it was your twin? Because I would indicate that this snake to me feels more like it's not. It was more of a pain in the ass. I mean, unless the snake represents somebody else other than who you would consider to be your twin. Like this to me is more like, ugh, this again? Like that's how I feel. It doesn't feel like that twin flame kind of energy. Sorry, my dog is snoring, guys. He was a snake. Well, that would explain it then. So, here's the thing. There's probably something else out there for you. That's the feeling that I get too, especially with this key. It's like, look to the future. The key feels like almost like an arrow being shot out of her back. Like, I don't know how well you guys can see it as well as I can, because this camera angle is different because I shoot now through a different streaming service. But this key looks to me like it's literally pointing, like I can feel as I'm looking at it, it feels like the energy's going like, just wait, just breathe right now, stay in your power and wait. It's going to, like, we're heading towards it, or you're going towards it. You just have to trust it, right? I shall try to breathe. Okay, do you want a picture of this? Do you need to take a screenshot? Or I will clear the board. And then how about Tracy? Because I know, Tracy, you're all the way in Perth. I can do yours next if you'd like, if you want to tell me what subject you want to do it on. And then I will do another person who bought. We'll interchange between paid and Patreon. Because they're all paid ultimately, because you guys support me over on the Patreon page. So I want to get to the Patreon people and to the paid people from tonight. So I'll go back and forth. So if either Tracy wants to go or Marita, whichever one. Tracy, okay, perfect. And because I know it's early morning and you're all the way in Australia, so I would love to get you done. So if you need to go, you can get about your day. And it's still early evening for Marita in Hawaii, I believe. So I believe Marita's like 3 hours ahead. You're welcome, Rachel. Thank you, dear. Thank you very much. All right, so future for Tracy Swinson. Wow, that Scorpion wants to be out tonight. Okay, so we've got a G, we've got an M, we've got an N, and we've got a D. Wow, the first thing I said when I saw this, I was thinking God mind. I don't know why that like popped into my head. All right, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry, 2 and 3 is 5, 6, 7, and 8. So number 8, 8s to me are about bringing things back into balance or harmony. When you turn the 8 onto its side, it's sort of that infinity symbol. We have that key again in the center. It's the exact same key. And we also have the Scorpio back here. To me, it's flipped on its belly. So I feel like this is what I want to say. I know that we're doing a future reading, right? Which is usually this portion of the board. So when I do future readings, I kind of... it looks like most everything is sort of over on this side of the board. But I want to speak to this because I feel like there's a vulnerability with the Scorpio being on its belly. Sometimes when things are flipped over, it means that it's not available to us or we're not seeing it. But to me, this feels like a time that in the past that was maybe painful or we felt vulnerable, right? And what the feeling here is that the pain comes from like the scorpion sting, right? And the vulnerability comes from the belly being exposed. So when I look at this, there might have been a time where we might have felt like we were at the mercy of others, or where we didn't feel like life was treating us very well. Or we might have been a little bit fraught in our thoughts too, because I feel like the Scorpion is higher up towards the higher mind. So it would be more in our conscious mind or in our thinking, where we don't feel like maybe things are fair. Things were a little bit more painful. And the reason why I feel like this is in the past is because this key to me feels like the present moment, right? And I'm interested to see what these tarot coins are. So let's begin flipping them. So this is the Lovers, which is the sign of Gemini. This is the Hermit, which is the sign of Virgo. We have the King of Pentacles. And we have the Sun. This is a Reiki stone. This is Shokure. All right, Tracy, I don't really know much about your personal life, but I'm going to get into this. I kind of feel like there could be something brewing in your romantic realm. I'm not sure, only because we have the Lovers here. I know that's a pretty obvious thing, but it's sort of hidden. The fact that this is flipped over speaks to like maybe there's some sort of desire or want. There might be some sort of relationship that might be that I feel like maybe you're aware of, but you're not ready to start yet, or it has yet to start. Does that make sense to you? Can I get a yes or a no on that? Because if that's not correct, I don't want to go down this road. But this King of Pentacles to me feels like this could be the partner. The Sun was also flipped over, which to me indicates like it's almost not time yet. Like I feel like you're not sure about whether or not you want to unlock this door or take this path, is kind of the vibe that I'm getting from these charms. And I don't know if that's correct. That's why the Lovers was flipped over, right? It's like we know that it's there. There might be the inkling or the idea, or maybe the attraction is there, but we haven't thought about moving on it yet. Or maybe it's not even a specific person yet, but we know that something that we're seeking or desiring, which is that sort of bonded kind of soulmate-y sort of love. So we're tinkering with that idea or the desire of that idea right now. Does that make sense to you, Tracy? And if that if it does, I'll explain to you why I sort of feel like that is because of the, like, you have Chokure, which is about the building of power, right? And this is also flipped over. And this is also on a dark stone, which is down more in the subconscious in the future. So to me, it feels like we need to flip this over once we decide to unlock this and move towards this love or this idea or the possibility of this love. But in the past, we were vulnerable and probably hurt, right? And so we're not sure we want to unlock the door or the desire for this just yet. We may not even know who he is or who they are, but if we do, that wouldn't surprise me either. We just haven't made that commitment. Not that I'm aware. Okay. So let me ask you this, Tracy. Are you currently in a relationship, or are you like desirous of love? Can you corroborate either of those things for me? Because I'm feeling like this is either the desire for something with somebody we already know, or the desire for something with somebody that is yet to come. But we haven't opened, and maybe this is something in the future. Maybe you're not aware of it as of yet, but it's sitting right underneath this key. Like, are we ready to unlock the door? Are we ready to open ourselves up to the idea of hopefully a deeply connected type of love, right? We've got the lover's coin here underneath the key. So to me, that would be indicative of like opening ourselves up to that. And then the King of Pentacles up here in the higher mind would be, okay, what does that ideal partner look like? Right? And sort of maybe beginning to create that idea of who they want. In the subconscious, we have like this, to me almost feels like an engine, like revving, like vroom, 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 like getting the energy ready to move forward, right? But then this Hermit to me feels a bit like, will you retract from them when they show up? Married, but had issues in the past. Oh, this is I'm not sure, because to me, when I'm looking at this Hermit feels like you could retract back or pull away. Like, and I don't know if you've pulled away from your partner or your husband already in it, like at other times, but this to me feels like this could be you pulling back. If you're saying that you guys have had problems in the past, to me, it doesn't indicate that there's anything wrong right here, but this lover's turned over. When you say there's been problems in the past, to me, it's like, it's one of two things. Either we are not wanting to open ourselves up to the relationship that we have, right? Is kind of the way that I'm seeing this. Or are we willing to like sort of unlock the door and potentially deepen this relationship? But again, the sun, which would energize stuff and give positivity to stuff and be an affirmation, was also flipped over, right? So it's like, is he giving to this relationship too? Is he giving everything that he wants? Is he able to give everything that he needs to, if that makes sense? And this being this sort of stirring up of power, it feels like it could maybe be you're deciding to not do that. That's also the Hermit energy, like leading to the future. Hey, Mary Lyman. Like, so you're saying It makes sense. Okay. Well, you're saying that I kind of get a feeling that, like, if you guys have been married 23 years, okay, so let me put these back the way that they were. And I don't want to be too, well, maybe I need to be direct. I'm not sure. If this is the state of what's going on, right? I kind of feel like both of you might be hiding or not putting forth everything that you need to put forth into the relationship at this time for some reason. And the reason why is I feel like the sun might be more representational of him or him putting in his part. This shokure might be a part of your energy and you putting it in. And this sort of to me feels like it's either being put on hold, not being acknowledged, not necessarily, maybe we don't know what to do, or how to like deepen the connection or affirm the connection. I'm not sure. To me, it feels like it's being put on hold or held back or not being acknowledged in some way, right? But when we flip it over, it's like, okay, so what do we do? How do we create better love? How do we deepen the love that we have? But both of you need to put in your sort of energy or your effort, right? And so, and I feel like this is the only thing that's upright in here. So it says to me, does she have a history of retreating or going off on her own or feeling like she's maybe on her own? And is she going to do it again? No, they're not. They just all came out, Mary. She just got a lot of tarot coins for this. So when we're talking about future, to me, I almost feel like it feels a little bit up in the air, if I'm being honest, Tracy, because I feel like if we're looking at this as a total future board, it feels like your love life might be on hold a little bit by your own choosing, and possibly maybe by his too, a little bit. Like maybe both of you don't necessarily, or maybe things are just kind of normal, right? And they're not really super inspiring or fulfilling or whatever. But I kind of feel like the energy of the sun and the energy of the lovers underneath here says to me that there is capacity or possibility for more if you wanted it, right? But you have to be like willing to like flip them over. He has to be willing to put that energy in, because these are two really positive, loving, sort of affirmative tarot coins, right? And that also like helps the power to build either your own power or the power between the two of you. Then at that point, if we look at the reading from that standpoint, then the hermit could be about sort of learning things about oneself at a deeper level and feeling sort of more stable, more connected, and all of that through this. I don't want to say the stabilization of your relationship, because your relationship shouldn't be what defines you, but you can learn things through it, if that makes sense. Oh my God. That's why it's on hold. Oh, wait, I think I remember this now. Oh, fuck, yeah, you've told me this before. I feel like a few months ago. He's been overseas for months and months, like having separate lives. Because it feels like things are shut off. And this to me feels really solitary. And I'm having a hard time, like, I'm trying to look at this whole board as if it's the future, but I have a natural tendency to want to split it into the sections that I normally do. And so if this is the future, to me, it indicates that you might not be together for a little while. The separation, this could be the sting and the vulnerability of the initial separation from the past, from months ago, right? That would be that. And it's like, we can't maybe open the door to getting back to the lovers because there's just stuff outside of your control. If that's the case, this King of Pentacles to me feels like if you're worried about, I don't necessarily know that you're worried about ideas or anything like that, but I like that the King of Pentacles is upright. I like that it's the King of Pentacles, and I feel like this is your partner, which he's a natural provider, a lover, grounded, steady. Those sort of things would be things I would associate with that coin. The thing is he wants to sort of have the energy of the sun, or he wants to probably reconnect with you, but can't. He's in Egypt. She's in Australia. That's crazy, Tracy. I forgot that about your story. That is so insane. So I kind of get a feeling that this sort of is on hold. There's also not a whole lot of charms on the board. It's interesting to me, though, the 8, though, and then we have the Lovers, which is these two hearts that are kind of intertwined, similar to sort of like that 8 that we see in this, in these. So there's that idea of bringing it back into balance, but it's like, I don't understand how you would balance this if it's this sort of, these charms to me feel restricted or held back, like outside of our control. At some point, ideally, though, I always say when a charm's flipped over like that, it means that the power is available to you, or, well, in this situation, I wouldn't know that it's available to you. There's outside circumstances that affect it, but that at some point, these will turn on or turn over or flip. And that's when the momentum builds and all of that sort of stuff. But I feel like this Hermit card speaks to this idea of you possibly having to be alone longer. So I hope that makes sense, Tracy. I'm sorry that it's not such a great reading, but I'm not sure. You have a really sort of interesting circumstance to all of this. Is that out of focus? That's a little bit better. I don't really like how far away the camera appears. I like the old camera better. It was closer. So if you need to take a screenshot, please do so, but I need to move on to the next reading. You're welcome, Tracy. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you like something more exciting or uplifting. Who wants to go next? Karen or Rose? Step forward. Thank you, Vicky. Okay, Rose, what do you want? Tell me a subject matter. Marita, you'll go after Rose. How does that sound? And then I'll do Karen. Because I'm going to try and alternate between the paid and the Patreons. So we'll do Rose, then Marita, then Karen. Does that work? I know, my dogs are totally sawing logs. Look at, can you guys see? Look at that. That's the cat laying next to the dog on the floor. They're like 69ing in sleep. The cat's head, that's the dog's head by the cat's tail. They're totally, the cat and the dog are sleeping next to one another on the floor. You see that? Such ding-dongs. I have no clue. Trust me, if I wasn't doing this, we'd all be in the bed. They'd be laying all over me. Subject is business, guiding on pricing. Okay, subject is business, guidance on pricing. All right, let's see. All right, let's see what we've got. Okay, so we've got a W that fell out. So I'm gonna keep that up there for a moment. I've got an R and I've got an E. This would be 2. This is another 4. That would be a 6. I'm not sure if I'm going to take that just yet. Let me see what's going on here. So, you have the 9 of Pentacles right in the dead center, which is really good as far as you're saying guidance on pricing, subject is business. There's an independence to the 9 of Pentacles. You know, she's always that woman standing in the field with the falcon. She has everything she needs, but she's doing it all on her own. She's a true badass, right? And I've been watching the videos on Facebook and stuff about the 21 days of badassery. If you guys Rose, if you want to post any links or whatever in here for anybody that's paying attention, please do so. But this Pentacles energy to me speaks to the idea about setting those prices, believing in those prices and understanding those prices are valid and right on the money. The Page of Swords here, there might be a little bit of mental conflict going on back and forth or second guessing, but it's just a matter of like sort of evening that out and staying true to this. Underneath here, I feel like this is you and Marita. It's the 2 lovers that are embraced together, and they're underneath the 3 of Wands. And the 3 of Wands to me is always that sort of fiery, spiritual, dynamic energy about like sort of expecting it to come in, like letting it roll in, just automatically not assuming that it's coming, but just living as if it is already there. And I like that this sits on top of these 2 lovers in this embrace. So to me, this speaks to like the connection that maybe you and Marita have and the power of that and the work that you guys do and all of that kind of to me, because these 2 are the 2 lowest charms on the board, right? To me, they feel sort of similar to like the foundation of all of this reading. Like this might be the engine that drives everything. And I like that. It just feels very positive, very optimistic. We have 2 Reiki stones. One is that Chokure, right? Which is that building of power. It's flipped over. And I feel like the reason why it's flipped over is there's still this like kind of, needing to work out our thoughts, figure things out, sort it out and get it clear with this page. And this 9 of Pentacles feels to me like you already kind of know the answer within you, but you're not trusting it for some reason. and I feel like once you like shake away the doubts of this page, then we can sort of kick the energy into gear and be like, moving forward. Up here we have, this is the long distance healing. I can't think of the name of it. But it's long distance healing in the higher mind. Why is this up here? And then this is the diploma hat, like the graduation cap. I'm not sure what these 2 are doing up here flipped over. It's kind of odd to me. It feels sort of... It feels sort of strange, to be honest. Like when I'm looking at them flipped over, like where they're located, and I feel like they're sort of connected together. One would be long distance healing or sort of... And then the other, to me, indicates like sort of graduation or like getting to that next step, getting to that next level or accessing that. And I don't know why they're both sort of flipped over in the sense that maybe they're not being acknowledged or not being honored in some way. I'm not sure what this is about just yet. I have an idea, but I'm not going to say it just yet. Let me get into these other cards or these other charms and see if this makes more sense to me in a minute. So this is ambitious is the word on the back, and it's the energy is Capricorn. It's flipped over, so is the Cancerian crab, and then we have the rose turned upside down. Your name is Rose, but it's turned upside down. I kind of feel like, I don't like to predict sort of bad things, but I also don't like that all of these are flipped over into the future and these two are face down. Something doesn't feel correct. It feels like this, and these two here don't match with what's going on here. Okay? Because I feel like even though we have a little bit of a mental like challenge or doubt, maybe questioning, trying to sort things out and figure it out right now in the present moment, there's this strength that's here and there's this strength that's here that says to me that once we really, even this out, figure out our pricing, trust that we know that it's worth it. And that could be, oh my God, the dog is so loud. I feel like that could be some of this graduation cap. Like, I don't know. I almost feel like, and I'm not sure if I want to say this, but I feel like, is there some sort of doubt in your mind because what you do lacks some sort of accreditation or like charging the prices that you believe you are should charge? Do you not firmly believe that they're, I don't want to say that they're worth that, but that like there's something about this graduation cap to me that feels like it's steeped in sort of like college educated, like, ugh. And so this sort of, there's like a doubt that's sown here, maybe in the higher mind where we're like, oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not, it like holds us up a little bit. And because this holds us up, we're unable to price according to what we feel like we're worth because we're questioning that in some way, shape, or form. And it's stopping us from flowing this forward. And then, because we have this wonderful energy, like if we look at these three charms in the future, right? Not only do we have Rose, which is your name of all goddamn things, which I think is awesome, but we have, it's a symbol of beauty, it's a symbol of spirituality, it's a symbol of like, growth, harmony, grace. It's a deeply spiritual flower in that regard, right? And then we also have Cancer, which is like sort of the sign of nurturing, emotions, psychicness, mothering, that sort of thing, care, all of that. And then we have the ambitiousness and the groundedness and the forthrightness, the money-making ability of Capricorn sitting here, right? And like these guys are all on hold because there's something up here going on that says to me that, but see, this is the kicker, because there's this part of you that knows it in you, and there's this part of you that believes it, like in your spirit too. So I don't understand where the rub is between the higher mind and the conscious mind, because you're weighing this out as far as business is concerned. You know what you're worth. You're an independent woman. You're like, I want to do this, and I want to get that sort of energy going. And you're working through that mentally right now, right? With this, you're learning about that and sorting that all out. The thing is I feel like the value or like the overall gist, and I could be wrong about this, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I wonder if there's some sort of doubting about, like, you want to charge a certain amount, but you're afraid it's too high. And that's sort of what I feel like might be the doubt here, is that like, I feel like there's this cap, and does that make sense? I don't know if I'm making sense, but I feel like, if I had gone to a 4-year college, I could charge $800 an hour, but I feel like it's worth $800 an hour, but it only comes from within me, so I devalue it, is sort of the feeling that I get. And that could be something that I also do myself, so that might be why I'm reading it into here. But I sometimes when we do spiritual work, we have a hard time like pricing it out at its true worth because society doesn't see it for what it is, right? Or they don't think that they need it, or it's the first thing that's expendable in the budget kind of thing. But to me, it feels like you know the value and it's high. That's the thing. So as far as pricing, I would say, and this is like how I see this, is the better your pricing, even if it seems like scary, I kind of feel like trusting in that and believing in that will bring about sort of the power of these charms later in the future versus doubting it, going low, and it's almost like kind of going at things from a state of lack versus a state of abundance. But to me, it's about realizing the value of what you have. It's not that you don't realize it. It's about, do you think other people will realize the value? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Maybe that's it, where you're saying maybe I'm not owning and naming enough of my expertise. Like this to me feels like there's some sort of like, like this would represent like some sort of education or graduation, and to me it being flipped over, also coupled with this long distance healing, feels like there's some sort of achievement that needs to happen here, some sort of realization for you that needs to happen here, where it's like, my stuff is just as good, just as valid, just as real, just as powerful, just as valued as, say, a college education, or I'm just throwing that out there because it's a diploma, it's a graduation cap. But do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's like, don't underestimate the value of what you do is kind of the vibe that I'm getting, if there's any of that going on. If you're struggling with pricing or trying to figure out how to price something out and you're fearful of pricing it too high, to me, I feel like, where does that fear come from? Because I feel like that fear is what might need to be explored or looked at, because I feel like that fear could be what's flipping these two over. If there is a fear, there may not be, but if there is a fear or worry, it's indicating here, and that's why you're questioning how to price things out, because I feel like there's a part of you that knows the worth. That's this Nine of Pentacles. But do you believe that others will know the worth? Because if you don't, then these all kind of stay flipped over. Does that make sense? Will they realize the value? I definitely am worried about that. Exactly. That's what I mean, though. And that's why I keep my readings the way I price my readings. I feel like they're a bargain, right? Like at $50 a pop, and I don't raise my prices. It took me a long time to even get to that, right? But the truth is that if I was honest, they're probably worth more. I hear that all the time, but I don't, I fear that, like, oh my God, like, and I wonder how much sometimes that fear indicates how many readings actually book. So it's my own self-doubt. So when I look at this here, but to me, I feel like the value. Like there's an independence in the Nine of Pentacles to me that speaks to this idea that you know who you are and what your worth is, but does society acknowledge that for you? And that's also this graduation cap, right? What that would be certainly a societal, like, what's the word? Acknowledgement of our knowledge, right? So when we feel as though we have that, or when we free that in our higher mind, or, open ourselves up to finding that for ourselves, I think that's also the healing that takes place up here. And boom, this opens up, and then we can like kind of move forward, and all of these open up. And then we have this kind of exalted rose in the future where you get to set your pricing, be valued at your pricing, be worth every bit of your pricing, and not have any question to that, right? Does that make sense? So let me ask you this, Rose, you know what you want to charge, correct? Just give me a yes or no. I have a feeling the answer is yes. Like you were clear on what you think it's worth. You have that number in your head. This to me, just sitting right here staring me in the face, says, yes, she knows. And it's I wouldn't call it expensive, but it's basically, exactly. To me, it being also the Nine of Pentacles says to me that, like, even though it's a worthy price for you, there could be this idea that others might see it as expensive, But I think that the truth is that you're more than likely pricing it correctly. But you have to believe that. I've got a new number in mind. And the new number is less expensive? Would that number be half of what the original number was? Can I ask you that? And I'll tell you why I'm asking that. Meaning I have a number that instinctively I'd like to raise my one-on-one to. Okay. I think instinctively, if it's raising it, I think that's okay. I think that you should do that. I think that that is what opens up the understanding of graduation, right? Graduating to a new price point. Also, that opens up the sort of acknowledgement of like sort of honoring your work and healing that and moving forward. I also think that it kicks off these energies moving towards the future because you are, worst case scenario, right? If we find that we're not getting the bookings that we need, then you go back to your original pricing or whatever. But I think that that speaks to it. What I was saying is if you were thinking about lowering your prices, because we had this 4 here and then these 2 were on the board at 2s, I was thinking, is she thinking about halving her price? Or if it was between 6 and 4 or something like that, where she was going from 6 for a package to a 4. Is that what these numbers are trying to tell me? Because this 4 was out here on the table. It fell on the table. It wasn't actually in the board. So I was wondering if, because I was trying to, when we were talking about pricing, I'm thinking, okay, where are the numbers here? We've got the 9 of Pentacles. But to me, this 9 would speak to go with the higher price. Go with the price that you believe in what you're worth. Go with the price that, stand in your truth of what you know you're worth. And that's also the power of what I see about this love, these lovers embrace, and this 3 of Wands to me as the foundation of all of this is like that ultimately this could be you and Marita, right? But this also is just sort of maybe the love that you put into your work, right? And the true spirituality and connection that you put into your work. And that's really the drive and what's underneath all of this. Some of this is you kind of working that out mentally, right? I think if I remember correctly, you're an air sign, aren't you? So I think that might just be a natural thing where you have to kind of work out the the inner workings of all of that for yourself. But I would say if you're thinking about instinctively raising your price, I think that that's what happens. When that happens, maybe that's when the graduation will take place. And that's why these things feel like they're on hold, because there might be some sort of pause and that's what also affects this stuff going into the future. Gemini rising. Okay. So, and that's the part where I feel like you might be just thinking a little bit too much about it. Oh, you're a Libra with a Gemini rising. You're double air. Okay. So no wonder why you're thinking about all of this, but that's kind of also why this stuff is valuable, because more than likely you've put a lot of thought and sort of intention into the work that you do. I mean, I know I've worked with you and I know I've watched the things that you've put together and the groups that you put together, and the 21 days of badassery is kind of amazing. If I could have been as dedicated to it, I would have started with all of you. And then when it got to like day 9, I was sort of pissed because I was like, shit, I should have gotten involved in that, but I just couldn't commit. So I've been watching others' videos and all of that. But like, I think that raising your price is probably the right thing to do. Do you? Do you? Okay. I didn't know I could. I thought once it started, I was just gonna like, I didn't want to like be all. Everybody's like, "Who's this guy?" I think it's over, isn't it? It's like over. I come in on day 21. I'm like, oh, I'm such a badass. I didn't even need to have to show up until day 21. Yeah. Where's my Dr. Pepper? All right. Okay, just hop in. All right, cool. I didn't know. So I thought like you had to start on day 1 and work your way through 21 days. Oh, it's so funny. All right, Marita. Do you need to take a picture of this? And Rose, I want to say too, I feel like there's a significance with this rose being the sort of like what I see as the furthest charm and kind of high up here. I feel like there's a graduation of like from this Capricornian grounded energy, this mothering, nurturing Cancerian energy into like this rose standing up tall and proud at the end. So I feel like there's a kind of like stair stepping going on with these 3 guys, but they need to be unlocked through whatever we do here and whatever changes up in here. Does that make sense? So let's put this right here. Let's put a cap on that page. Let it graduate. We'll put long distance healing right here. We'll put Shokugure right there, pushing us forward into the future. We're going to even out the 3 of Wands. That's a beautiful balance right there. We'll bring that all into balance. And that's your reading. There you go. Awesome. All right. Marita, sorry, you guys. I'm kind of taking a little long time. Yeah, look at that kitty. You want to take that kitty, Marita? I was going to get really raunchy there for a minute. You like that pussy? Oh my God, I'm a mess. All right, so you should see me spanking. He's into spanking. He's such a freak, that cat. He lets me spank him, and he like gets all like excited, and then he tries to bite my hand. He's totally into it. He's waiting for me down there. He's like, "Come spank me, daddy." All right, Marita, what do you want your subject to be on? I should never do this when I let the day get away from me and I'm overtired. It's like, what? The stuff that comes out of my mouth. Forget my career as a Hay House author. Oh, you know, like the kitty spanker. We have a cat that loves spanking too. Yeah, they're into it. My dogs love getting spanked. They like lick when I spank them on their butt. They actually like will. One of them Gus will kick me with his back leg if I stop spanking his butt. He will actually like kick me to make me spank him some more. He loves it. It's weird. And then Tallulah loves it too. Like, and they like it kind of hard. It's really weird. I'm like, ooh, you like that? You like that? Yeah. I'm launching a few new programs and expanding cacao. Is the way clear? I feel the call to do this. All right, let's look. Okay, let's look. We have R, N, and Z. And this is a 12, which would boil down to a 3. I do like that you have the Z, which is like one of the most highest numbers in the, I believe it is the highest number in Scrabble. That 10 is like really, to me, it speaks like to being benefic and good. So I really like that because it's rare that I see 10s out of the letters. I just want to say that. So let's look and see what we have. So this says, you can if you think you can. So there's your answer. All right, so let's move on to the next person. No, this says you can if you think you can, but it's sort of being blocked, right? It's face down. It is upright though, so that's good. So we have that in the dead center. And I think that what this says to me is that you already know that information and you're still trying to sort it out. We do have the Page of Pentacles here. Again, pages are about learning and enthusiasm and optimism. Pentacles being about money, and we're talking about the furthering of business. I think that this is a good thing. Expanding of cacao, that would be a good thing too. Is it going to take a little bit of learning or some is there going to be like a sort of a learning curve as we go? Probably. Can you handle it? More than likely. That's my feeling. I feel like it's really good. And you can if you think you can, right? That's what this charm says. But we need to believe that as we move forward into it. Up here we have, this says, when you're grateful for what you have, more will come into your life. This is so scraped off. I should just throw it out. These things are getting really scraped and ruined. But I mean, I can't read them, but as well. But I don't feel like this is not you not being grateful. How is this? But maybe I feel like you might be so busy with the expansions and the ideas that are you taking time to be sort of thankful and giving thanks to sort of what is working well in the day to day? That's the feeling that I get. I don't feel like that it's like, oh, you're not being grateful. I feel like maybe you're forgetting, or there's like a sort of an untapped resource here that you might want to connect to from time to time, because there are blessings that are going on in your life that you are creating, that if you stopped and sort of smelled the roses, so to speak, or took time to pause, because this to me feels like that focus on work and expansion and learning and all of that. There's an optimism and an enthusiasm with pages. So I like that too. And then this guy, I'm not sure what he's doing here, laying through here, to be honest. But I feel like if we stop and we smell those roses, or we get grateful and we access that gratitude on a daily basis, we also open up this to this. You can if you think you can, right? We start to open ourselves up to more of that optimism. We have, this is the angel, or like sort of what I would consider the guardian angel charm, and it is flipped over. So I'm not sure. I feel like there might be sort of guides or spirits around you trying to help you. I don't want to say that you're not acknowledging them, but I feel like, are you having a hard time hearing them, maybe? Or are you, like, it's almost like, are there signs and synchronicities that might be going on around you that this is what this is explaining to about? Like, are you so busy with the expansions and the ideas? Are you connecting to the spiritual, maybe through gratitude or whatever, to notice the signs and signals that are being sent to you? Because this being here says to me that it's around you. Like it's definitely there, assisting, helping, maybe even throwing you signals. But it being flipped over makes me think, are you catching the signals, or are you busy focused on working, right? Are you busy focused on learning? Because the signs and signals would indicate that they would probably be telling you if now is the time, right? If the path is clear, kind of thing. This down here is those porno theater coins. Again, hey, house author. This is the sign of Sagittarius. It was sex side up, and I can't read the word. What does it say? What does the word say? This says active. And the interesting thing about this active being down here, you also have the Ace of Wands up here, which is also very active. Wands being the element of fire, and spirit also being in the higher mind and in the future. Wands being about, aces being about new beginnings, and wands being about desire. And usually aces are very affirmative, right? So to me, I feel like coming in the future, and I feel like this might be the very near future, when you know, you're going to know very clearly. Like that's the indicator there. And I feel like this down here, it being the sign of Sag, right? Sag to me is about, again, fire sign, active energy, the arrow, the centaur that shoots the arrows. It's like this Ace of Wands is probably even the arrow that we shoot, right? Or the idea that we go after, that we create. You might be laying the groundwork right now. That's some of this Page of Pentacles energy. moving things along, doing the practical nature things, doing the day-to-day business things. And in doing those things, there's nothing wrong with doing those things, but in doing those things, you might be so busy that you're not always seeing sort of the more spiritual graces that are going on around you, because I feel like they are. Let me look at this. This is the Five of Pentacles, not the best card, not the best tarot coin. And then this is the dog, but this is like sort of the walking dog. It's not the obedient dog. So this to me is about loyalty. This is about kind of being left out in the cold or maybe not having enough. Fives represent change. So there might have been times, and again, this will be towards the past or in the past, there was times of maybe more slimmer existences or meager times. And I think that sometimes those things might get in the way, or those thoughts might come back. Sometimes they might be lurking in the background or trying to, oh, be careful, Marita. You don't want to make a mistake. It's that kind of an energy. I think I figured out what this person here is doing. I feel like this person is remaining calm, remaining cool, remaining collected, remaining centered to me. I would prefer it if they were a little bit more like this, right? But I do like that their head is sort of towards this Page of Pentacles, which speaks to this idea of a singular focus. Page energy to me can be a little bit bonkers or a little bit like, goofy and childlike. But this to me speaks to like not somberness, but like maybe being sort of steadfast or a singularity of purpose, right? There's a piece here that I like in this charm. So I feel like even though you might be learning stuff as you go, your direction is good, right? Your intention is good. Like I feel like the intention with this charm is very almost meditative and strong. When you ask, is now the time or is the way clear? I think the way is clear. I'm going to just say that. I'm not going to make any of the decisions for you, obviously, but I think the way is clear. Could the way be even more clear? Heck yes, because this charm here, and this charm here tells me so. This one here says, when we are grateful for what we have, more will come into your life. And you already know this. I know you know this. But the thing is that when we get busy with this sort of the productivity aspect or the practicality stuff and the, dotting the I's and crossing the T's, we may forget to check in with that nature of this part of it all, right? And it becomes, this is one thing that I love about you and Rose is that everything that you guys do is a labor of love, right? And you feel that in your work and just in who you are as people. And so that's the thing that I think might be going on here, is that you get so involved in the workings of it that remember the labor of love, or focus on the love, the gratitude that you put into everything that you do as you do it. That also clears the path even more, is my feeling, right? And with Sagittarius and then also the Ace of Wands, to me, it feels like there's kind of a lot of energy and momentum to move forward. Certainly. There's also, I love this piece that's in the center here. I feel like there's a calm, cool collectedness to this charm that it's almost like the voice that you're hearing or the guidance that you're hearing is coming from your higher self. That's almost the vibe that I'm getting from this. And there might be a part of you that is it's not that you're not trusting it, but you're just trying to make sure that you do everything correct. Make sure. And these two charms say, don't worry, you're going to be fine. We got you. We're right here, kind of thing. That's sort of the vibe that I'm getting. And you're here to do the work. Like you're here to make this happen. So I think that, I don't know the specifics of your situation, like financially or anything like that. I get that this Five Pentacles is up here. So there might be some sort of a financial issue or a question that's going on for you that I think could be challenging you a little bit around some of this, like as far as timing. But I do think that you can trust your inner voice. That's this charm. Trust your ability to learn, like in the moment, and adapt. You certainly have the energy to make things happen, and you have the support from sort of spirit around you, even if it may not feel like it all the time, because you might be getting caught up in the minutia of the day-to-day business stuff and not forgetting, but like take time to tap into all of the things of why you love what you do, because that will help you to expand upon this and bring in more of this. It's funny, it's like you don't need this guidance because you have plenty of here within you, is the feeling that I'm getting. But they can help too. I've been calling in help as well and learning how to receive. That's what this is. Stop and smell the roses. It's just like, remember the labor of love, like why you do exactly what you do, why you're expanding, why you went to that island, the cacao, all of it. Like this was, was it a year ago or was it 2 years ago? Where were you then, right? What were you doing then? It makes me think about how much change you've taken on from just sort of sheer desire and, okay, I think we want to go and do cacao, and look at how far you've come, right? And now you're expanding yet again. And so I like that. I think that should be something that, like, when you stop and like really acknowledge that, you go like, shit, like we really did the damn thing. And you've been okay, like you've survived, like it's gotten, it's moving in the midst of like pandemics and all sorts of crazy shit, tons of change, less than a year, exactly. And these are things that, like, I think maybe you are forgetting to sort of stop and go like, oh shit, yeah, we did. Oh, damn. Thank you. Like, give yourself a pat on the back. And you did it in the midst of a pandemic and Australia was burning. Like, we lost Kobe Bryant this year. Like, it was a crazy fucking year. Like, there was just, I couldn't believe when I looked back at some videos of what went on this year, like, just what the hell happened. And the fact that we're all still standing, the fact that we can put together a coherent sentence. I don't give a shit that I don't comb my hair every morning. I can put together a coherent sentence. I deserve a cookie. That's how I feel. So that's what I think. I think that if now doesn't feel completely right to you, that's okay. Sort out anything right now. Trust your own, voice within you. I think that you can. I think that the time that you do spend in thought on this and in reflection on this, that's this charm here, is valuable. And you are learning stuff, and you will, you might make a few mistakes. It is a page, so it's not the most stable of the pentacles, but it is pentacles, which is about, the setting of good grounded plans and building a business, finance, money. So expansion would be beneficial. Do you have to learn as you go a little bit? Yeah. But, not all of us are cacao farmers from the start, so like you've been learning all the way along and you've been doing it very well. So it's just more continuation of that, but you have the energy to do it, certainly. And there's also room for expansion and sort of benefic kind of change happening with this Sagittarius coin. And then up here, to me, I really feel like you're gonna, like, when the time's right, I feel like when that will be. It'll be, like a big signal in the sky. You won't miss it, kind of thing. We all deserve cookies. I know, for real. For real. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know how it all works out. I need to get to Karen because Karen's been waiting. We've been on for I don't know how long. Not you and I, Marita, but I just feel bad that I don't know how long it feels like it's been a long time. So I'm going to clear the board. If you need to take a picture, feel free to do so. And that's fine. I think that it's good to do all of that. That's the Page of Pentacles energy, and that's even the reflection of this guy. But also remember to have fun. Remember to be grateful for the things that have, you know, that you do have and all of that. Bring that into play with this, and you'll get even more out of it, is my feeling. Thank you, Marita. All right, Karen. Are you still with us, Karen Stringer? What I need to know. All right, let's see. What does Karen Stringer need to know? Okay, so I have the mood ring stuck on my finger. I don't know if it's supposed to come out onto the board or not, so I'm going to just set it there for now. All right, so we have an R, we have a U, we have a T, rut. I have 1, 2, and 3. Threes are usually about sort of collaboration. It's the way that I see it. They can also be about celebration. What I like about this, even though this word is rut, I don't want to say that I feel like you think that you're in a rut or anything like that, but I like that you have these really strong female characters. You have 2 of the strongest female charms in the box, right? You have the Virgin Mary, Mother Mary, and you have Queen Tara. She's back. She started us off. She's back again. I feel like this is you. I almost feel like this might be you in 2 different facets. Or I feel like this might be your energy right now. You also have that same sort of spirit charm that was in Marita's reading. It's right here in this sort of space. So it feels like there's a harmony between these 1, 2, 3 charms, right? Maybe, I don't know if these are aspects of you or if this is you and another female. And then spirit involved, but there is I almost want to say like a trine in a way. We have the sign for the crab, which is Cancer, also associated with the moon, so associated with nurturing, motherhood. We have Mother Mary here. So that's also really nice kind of energy, but I don't feel like it's connected in with this trine. I do feel like this might be a byproduct of this trine of energies, right? That there's this nurturing sort of emotive kind of ephemeral sort of thing going on around this. There's a lot of like sort of deeply kind of weirdly spiritual stuff in here. It's sort of the vibe that I get. It feels a little mysticism-y. All right, so let's see here. Is mysticism-y even a word? This is the 5 of Pentacles sitting underneath this. It was face down, so to me, I feel like there could be some financial stuff going on in the background. Face down means it's not really at the forefront. We might be concentrating more on this connection here with spirit, staying centered, staying grounded. This is more of our present time space. We might have just come out of some sort of financial issue. Maybe it was a rut, but it feels like it's either leaving us or we're putting it behind. We might even be nurturing ourselves away from it. This here is the faith charm, and this is in the past. Hi, kitten. This is in the past. It is face down, so I feel like this is indicating that maybe we didn't have so much faith in the past. To me, the faith is here in these 3 charms. Like, to me, this is the opposite. These 3 charms culminate in the total opposite of what's going on here with this being face down. Do you want me to spank you, kitty? So it just indicates that maybe there might have been a time where you were challenged in the past or didn't have access to as much faith as you would like, right? Like your faith has been stronger at times and then weaker, and we were maybe aware of it there. So this is the frog, and the frog to me represents cleansing, which is sort of about like cleansing of the spirit, the soul, you know, how we feel about ourselves, how we view ourselves, that sort of thing. And then you have the Merkaba, and we have, I believe this is Saint Anthony of Padua. I know he's the remover of obstacles, right? So, but he's sort of face down. Let me just look at this for a minute. Because all of these here to me, like when I look at all of these, the crab isn't necessarily negative. It feels emotional, right? And emotions to me aren't necessarily a negative, right? They just are what they are. They can be tumultuous, they can be powerful, but they're emotions, and there are a broad range of them, but we have to feel them, right? And so when I look at this here, I don't necessarily know that this is, I don't feel that this is a bad thing, but I feel like the lack of faith, the Five of Pentacles, which we might be leaving in the past, and also this inability to remove obstacles, we maybe had to move away. This, the Merkaba represents sort of like spiritual movement to me, or moving. In this scenario, it feels like maybe moving away towards this calm and this peace, this centeredness, this focus. I almost feel like, I don't know if this is you being focused on a relationship of some sort, but there's, again, there's this trine happening here where I feel like it's, I think this might be you, this might be someone else, and this is spirit. And like, there's maybe this coming together or trying to stay focused on that happening. And we had to remove ourselves from all of this other stuff. We're still in the process of removing. That's why this Merkaba is closer to her. But we're getting our way out of there, right? We have the axe here. I'm not sure, because I would feel better if the axe was pointing downward, if that makes sense. If the blade were downward, it would feel more like it's cutting down. To me, I'm not sure if this isn't like defensive. Like, I almost get the feeling like we're holding this axe blade out, like, don't fuck with me, fellas. It's kind of the feeling that I get from this. So don't scratch up the chair. I'm gonna stop petting you, you little S&M freak. All right, so we might be a little bit on guard with maybe certain people or situations, is the feeling that I get from this. And then up here is the crucifixion of Christ on this little like Milagro. Stop scratching the chair, please. I'm gonna have to remove you from the chair. So this, to me, being face down, I feel like we may be no longer available to allow people to treat us certain ways, is kind of the feeling that I get from this. I feel like flipping this over on its belly like that, where you can't see the crucifixion, is actually a good thing. I feel like this blade facing up towards it says to me, I'm not going to do that anymore, or I'm not going to allow myself to be in situations where I get crucified. Like, I'm putting myself first. I'm holding myself to this higher state of being, this higher understanding. I'm releasing sort of things that no longer work for me, or that bring about emotionally, also releasing them too. This could also be lack, feelings of lack, this Five of Pentacles. But I really feel like that's something that was probably the first thing to go, was this, okay, I'm not going to do this with you. You gotta go. He's pawing at me with his claws while I'm trying to read these terms. What was I going to say? I feel like this could be lack, but that was the first thing to let go, or to be gone. And now we're still letting go of other obstacles. And there's, in the letting go of some of these obstacles, we are cleansing ourselves, is the feeling that I'm getting from this frog. And in that cleansing too, we're also willing to sort of defend ourselves. Up here we have the Five. I'm not sure what this indicates. To me, this could be 5 months' time. It's kind of my first impression. I'm going to say this. I almost want to say Mark, I don't like to future predict. I never want anybody like living for anything that I say, right? But this 5 to me, I feel like you are going to be, because the reason why I say this is this space here, this negative void, this empty space in the center, speaks to me that like in 5 months' time, you're going to be somewhere that you never thought you would be. I know that sounds weird, but that's the best way that I can sort of indicate this. That's not even my magic pointer. Where's my magic pointer? I feel like this negative space here indicates there's almost maybe something that we don't see, some sort of change that could potentially take place as we release ourselves from some of these burdens that are letting go, right? That we've been maybe consciously and unconsciously moving from, moving ourselves out of ruts that we've been in, focusing on like sort of beneficial trines or connections either within ourselves or maybe with another human being or with spirit or all of the above kind of thing. I feel like in 5 months' time, I may speak to you and I say, record this now or put it down in a book somewhere, mark a calendar or a day planner, call Dan on this day to let him know where I am, because we'll forget that I said this. And you're going to be like, oh shit, what happened? How did I get here? And then I'll be like, oh, but remember I told you 5 months from now, it's going to be all different. That's kind of the feeling that I get. And I can't tell you what's going to be different because this is all empty space. But the empty space also indicates not necessarily a bad thing. It indicates a world of possibility. So I kind of feel like from these charms, because when we have this blade up like this, like we're no longer allowing ourselves to be crucified or dishonored in some way, shape, or in any way, shape, or form. When we use this blade to sort of cut away the crucifixion, we like move away from the obstacles and we cleanse ourselves and we get rid of the lack of faith and we let all this go. We're only left, like, let me just show you. I'm just going to do this just as a visual. When we let all of this go, and we move away from this stuff, because this is kind of what I feel like this charms want me to do. Because we even want to, like, ultimately, we don't want to allow ourselves to be in a defensive state, even if it's for our own good, right? We don't want to live life in a defensive state. But when we're left with these three, that's really what we desire, what we want, the connection, and that's like the most powerful thing that I see on this board. And I feel like this is what empowers us to move to whatever this is waiting for us in the future. So I hope that makes sense. I don't necessarily know that the mood ring plays into this. I feel like that might have gotten just stuck on my finger. If it does play into this, I would say that this indicates a certain mood, certainly, right? So we want to reflect and stay in this connection. This also could be the mind, body, spirit connection, right? Our own connection to ourselves and how we harbor that. Hi, Dorothy Baxter. How are you, dear? How we harbor that, how we build upon that, how those components of ourselves work together. I mean, but I think that these charms could represent that, but I also feel like they represent some other sort of connection too. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I know I just moved your charms all off the board and got all crazy, but I'll put them back so that you can get a picture. But I feel like that's really the focus, because I feel like whatever you're working on right now, wherever your focus is, it's shifting and it's changing. I almost want to say, like, when I'm looking at this trine here in the center, I feel like that is, it's that focus or that desire, whatever it is that's shifting within you, that's shifting you away from these things that are no longer working for you or presenting themselves as obstacles or, you know, having you lack faith or whatever. It's you're getting freed is the best way to explain it. Like I feel like it's the best way to explain it. Like, so even though the funny thing is this word is rut, but I feel like you're getting yourself out of the rut, if anything, or you're actually already maybe even out of it. That's the beauty of this 3, but you need to stay sort of tuned into this, the peace, the mood, or the feeling that comes from this focal point, and maintaining that and moving towards the future without so much specificity. That's this empty space here too, I feel like. So we leave ourselves open to the options and we just build upon that, the growth of this 3 connection here. Does that make sense, Karen? I hope that makes sense. You waited for a while for that reading, so that's what you need to know, my dear. So if you've been feeling like you've been in a rut for a while, know that you're moving yourself away from it, that it's changing and transforming. I also think that like in 5 months' time, there's going to be sort of, I mean, I don't want to full out predict, but I kind of feel like there might be so much change that you're like, what the hell happened? Not in a bad way, but like find yourself in a place totally different than where you are now or where you were, say, maybe a few months ago. Are you there? Am I the only one here? Am I all by myself? Have I talked you all to sleep? Oh my God. I'm left all alone. I hate this. This is exactly why I have abandonment issues. Hi, Andrew. I think she's gone. I'm not sure if she's here. I'm waiting for her response. I don't know if she's still watching on YouTube. Maybe I went down on YouTube. I'm not sure. Hey, Vicky. So Vicky's here on YouTube, so she's watching successfully. Karen, are you there? She might have gotten busy or something. She maybe will watch it later. I don't know what happened to her. Oh, the cat's back. This hooker cat. Hi, hooker cat. Oh, hooker cat. Oh, hooker cat. What are they feeding you? Let's see. Hi. Ha! I have been charming for you this whole entire time. My name is Charm Pussy. Huh, kitten. Oh, he likes it when I rub his peacock. Oh, he does. He does. He does. He sits here and he does admin. He files. He does all sorts of work. I think I don't know what happened to Karen. She's gone, or I'm not seeing her comments. I don't know. God, I look like death eating a cracker. All right. I'm going to clear this board. I don't know what happened to Karen. Karen, if you're out there, in the immortal words of Wilson Phillips, hold on for one more day, okay? Somebody gonna take it, somebody gonna turn around and make you cry. Till then, baby, watch out. Carney Wilson will eat your barbecue, okay? So just be careful. All right, so, well, she won't now. She's skinny now, so I liked old Carney better. She was more relatable. Stop pawing at me with your claws, you whore. This cat, man. So mean. So mean. Aren't you? She's a mean boy, aren't you? He likes it when I'm mean to him, too. He's weird. He like gets off on her. Oh, be somewhere else physically? I never thought I would be. It could be. I feel like I just feel like I want to say, and I'm not trying to say like mark my words, like I'm the one, but I feel like that dice was telling me like mark your calendar because 5 months from now you're gonna want to go back and go like, oh shit. So it could be just mentally. I don't know. I just feel like it feels like you're gonna be somewhere completely different in 5 months' time. That's the only thing that I could that I could figure that 5 was about, and that was pretty instantaneous. Was that it felt like 5 months, 5. So I don't know. I mean, I would say be open to that. If anything else made sense in the reading, if you are letting yourself free of things that have held you back in the past, if you are feeling sort of defensive and on guard about people sort of potentially taking advantage of you and no longer allowing that to happen, then I would be open to the idea of anything and everything being available to you, because Green Tara, Mother Mary, and that spirit charm symbol, right? That guardian angel charm symbol means that, like, really, as long as we're open to it and willing and able, anything could be possible. So if you don't want to move, I'm not saying you have to move. I'm just saying that there could be opportunities for major transformation there, beyond what you thought you knew would be coming. That's my feeling. And so the Green Tara and the Guardian Angel and Mother Mary to me feel like it's a nice blend of holding sort of a high regard for yourself, honoring yourself in a very sort of profound, deep, spiritual way. Hey, Christina Avalos, how are you? Incorporate. Andrew, you're like, Karen. I think I'm not sure. So she just responded. She said, be somewhere else physically. I never thought I would be, question mark. You very well could be. If you want to be somewhere else physically, then let it happen. But if you don't want to be, I don't want to like predict that for your future, but I kind of feel like in 5 months' time, you're going to be like, shit, how did this happen? That's the feeling that I get from that 5 months. 5s represent change too, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of change maybe over the next few months for you, and that wouldn't be a bad thing. Not this, I mean, like, only you can answer if you're putting yourself first right now, which I think that you are, judging from how those charms look to me. But if I'm wrong. Awesome. Okay, good. All right, you guys, I'm going to sign off. It's already 10 o'clock. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, anybody who watches this later. Please feel free to tune in, hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video, especially if you're watching on YouTube, because it helps YouTube to see that people are enjoying my content. And thank you to everybody who purchased Charmings. Thank you to everybody that supports me on Patreon. It was a fun night. Sorry I was a little loopy. I was a little tired. It was a busy day. I didn't sleep very well last night. But I am really glad that you all came by and made it a good night. And I will talk to you guys later. All right, I'm going to sign off and go spank my kitty. Bye.